Hello everybody. So today I am so blessed to have with me Ron Hess from Momentous Insurance. They are one of the world leading insurance company for entertainment. And I don't know if you know about insurance for production or film or television or even stage. And for those of you who are out there that are artists, that are musicians and you tour, you need insurance for that too. So we are going to talk to the awesome, fabulous Ron Hess.
That's me.
Welcome to Sense Mamita.
I'm glad to be here.
I'm shooting, I get insurance, I get the 4 types of insurance that you've said. I can do that as a short-term insurance. If I'm shooting a short that is a 10-day shoot, then I would just get coverage for those 10 days.
Correct.
Okay. Once I shoot it, it's done, I have filmed it, I want to enter it in festivals. Does my insurance cover me submitting it to festivals?
Interestingly enough, it's going to depend on what the festival is going to want, because some of the festivals, the larger they are, the more that they want to see you had insurance. And keep in mind, just your submission and showing it at the festival is also a liability situation. So
why?
Because you are actually operating as yourself or your entity at that festival, which is outside the scope of what your personal insurance might be, your homeowners or whatever. Let's say you don't even have homeowners insurance. Many of the festivals are going to require you to at least have a $1 million minimum limit for general liability. But a catch, they might also want to see what you have, something called media liability errors and omissions insurance. Errors and omissions insurance addresses things that come up while you were filming, such as trademark infringement, copyright infringement, title infringement, using the likeness of others without their release. So you're talking about defamation and slander and that type of thing, even what might go into your script.
So you need errors and omissions for film festivals, but you also need errors and omissions if you're trying to, say, either license your film to, let's say, Netflix, or you want to license it to a distributor to say, okay, we're going to make a DVD and we're going to sell it to H production distribution, blah, 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 blah. That's a whole nother insurance, right?
It's still the E&O insurance, but there's a double-edged sword catch-22 situation going on here, because some of the festivals won't require you to have any insurance or E&O insurance, but you have now publicly disseminated your content to the public. So when the big distributor or the big buyer or the studio then finds that out, they say, well, you didn't have E&O insurance and this is already out there? Well, we could be sued because you didn't block out or blur the logo of some company that you were filming in front of. You're filming in front of a large retail outlet, and they have not given you use of their logo in the background. So now they could come back and say, well, we're suing you because you used our logo without permission. Or someone says, you used my likeness, you interviewed me, but I didn't give you permission to then go bigger with this, or whatever it might be. The studios are going to want to see that you had E&O from the beginning, from the very first time it was ever publicly disseminated, or else they might not buy your production.
So if I had the other insurances, if I had the liability, the workers' comp, if I had the driving insurance and the
Package for renting equipment.
production package, but I didn't have E&O, but I had all these other insurances, and I then go to the festival who is requiring E&O. I purchase E&O. Now I'm going to the distributor to license the film or to sell them the film. Am I still going to get in trouble because I didn't have the E&O in the very beginning, even though I had all the other insurance?
Not necessarily, because E&O is public dissemination driven. There really isn't much of a claim when it comes to E&O, because that factor of defamation or use of someone's likeness or a trademark without permission has to actually, the occurrence or doing that, disseminating to the public, is the trigger of the loss.
Okay.
Someone has to say, the public saw you using me without my permission before the can. If it's still in the can, it's really not a loss.
Oh, so we don't have to worry about E&O if we haven't yet taken it out.
Not necessarily.
Oh, Lord.
This is the other catch. There is what's called Acquisition and Development E&O Insurance. Not everyone gets it, but they probably should. Acquisition and Development Insurance you want to get prior to principal photography, because what can happen with Acquisition and Development Insurance is someone comes up and lays claim while you're filming. Now this might not be such a big deal for a low budget production. This might not even be relevant to most productions that might even have a couple $1 million budget. But the thing that can come up and has happened where someone finds out you're doing a documentary, and let's say it's on a controversial topic, during your development or during that you're filming, your time of filming, if you don't have, you could have a cease and desist, you could have an injunction come up, says you can't do this, we don't want you to do this, we're not going to allow you to do this. And let's say you had a cease and desist against operations of doing that, or someone says you're filming, you're using my idea, or I found out you're filming, it comes up in the trades or in Variety, so-and-so is doing this a film, and someone else in Illinois reads about this, hey, you're using my idea or my story without my permission. Acquisition and Development is going to address that. The thing that you're always insuring for is not so much the actual loss, but the defense costs. And defense costs, whether it's general liability, whether it's non-auto, whether it's workers' comp or production package or even the E&O, that's going to be your most expensive thing, because you also have frivolous claims. It might not even be valid, but someone sues you, you're not so much worried about paying their damages, you're worried about paying the defense costs to defend yourself against them. So there are two types of errors and omissions coverage that do come up while you're filming, before principal photography, and then until you actually have a product to show someone or sell someone. Once that happens, Acquisition and Development E&O is over at principal photography, and then your regular E&O kicks in.
Okay.
There's often a delta between when people, and they shouldn't, but there's a delta between when people have acquisition development coverage and when they have true E&O coverage. Because most acquisition development coverage ends at principal photography.
Okay.
But a lot of people don't get E&O until it's in the can.
Right.
And ready to show somewhere. Right. Or they get a contract.
Right.
Why do they do that? Well, again, what I said before, in most cases you don't really have a significant loss issue or someone to claim that you've infringed on their rights or release or their trademark or their idea until it's shown to the public. It's like a car accident. You don't have damage to a car until you have the car accident, but you insure for that. Well, it's the same thing. You don't have that damage or that loss until someone in the public can say, hey, I saw that you did that. But the reason why they might wait is because it might take them a year or two to actually get a contract or to be picked up. Sometimes you go through 3, 4, 5 years of festivals, but maybe your production is not relevant to the studios at that time. And then something happens and now your production is relevant and everybody wants it. You don't want, again, the cart before the horse. You want that E&O policy that's going to be married to whatever their contract is requiring you to have. And then that's when you get your E&O policy.
Okay.
Again, though, it's what I was saying before. How many festivals have you gone to, or showings, that then the studio is leery about buying your production because it's already been out there, and there could be an E&O claim waiting in the wings.
Okay.
They don't want to get involved with that if that's the case. That's not the end-all and be-all, though. I've dealt with that many times. I've got E&O for productions that have previously appeared at festivals. We take it from the perspective of having the producer commit to the fact that there have been no losses, go on record with that in a signed statement, and then we'll get them E&O coverage. It's not that I can't get you E&O coverage. I always can. It's just part of my job. That's where I step in, and I make sure you have the coverage. And I do the things as far as risk assessment goes and underwriting to make sure that I can get that done. Have I run into problems where there have been controversial documentaries where it was harder to get E&O because the producer tells me, I didn't get that person's release, or I was filming in the Serengeti, how can I get that person's release? Or no, we didn't get that mother's release because of, okay, well then the end product might have those parts cut out.
And that is all the time we have for you today. Until next time, #MakeSenseCommon. And remember, subscribe, share, like, and follow to everything Common Sense Mamita.